Hey guys, welcome to Repitch, where we revisit, review, and redo movies. But today, I'm Richard, by the way, and this is my co-host David.
Hey guys.
And we have a special dedication episode. And who are we talking about today, David?
Well, not too long ago, a very big voice actor had passed, and we're gonna dive into Kevin Conroy and kind of talk about him and just go into his backstory and just talk about how much he meant to us.
Yeah, this was a rough one.
Mm-hmm.
When I found out that he passed away, it's just like, I was like, but he was up there in age. How old was he?
Sorry, let me get that. He's 66.
Oh, that's still really young.
Yeah, considering, yeah.
But yeah, when I found out, I was like, oh man, I feel like I just heard about him a little while ago. Just like, oh.
Yeah, no, he's he's been around for a while, like a giant in the voice acting realm.
Oh yeah,
And
he's been Batman for 30 years.
And I gotta say, when I think of Batman, I think of him. Like
Oh.
that voice is so distinct. Like seeing other people play
No.
Batman, like I can't.
I 100% agree. I don't think the live action Batman movies we've had. We've seen good portrayals of Batman. Robert Pattinson, great Batman. Not the best Bruce Wayne.
Right.
What's his name?
Ben Affleck,
Ben
Christian Bale,
Affleck,
Christian
yeah.
Bale.
Christian Bale. He does a great Bruce Wayne. I liked him, but Batman, give or take how you feel. But Kevin Conroy, he does a great job in doing both. Where you believe that he's his playboy, does whatever he wants. Then you see
Right.
the dark side of Batman. He does such a good job with that.
Right, he's one of the first to bring out that like dual personality and dual voice,
Yeah,
in the characters, and just does a phenomenal job with it.
yeah, it's a hard one. But yeah, tell us about Kevin Conroy. What was his life like?
Definitely didn't have an easy life growing up, but Conroy was born November 30th in 1955. He was the youngest of 4 children, and by 73, he ended up earning a full scholarship to Juilliard's drama school. And he really wanted to get into like become an actor, stage actor, get into theater. And fun note, he actually roomed with Robin Williams.
Oh, that's so funny. Really?
And he was part of an acting group, same acting group as Robin Williams and Kelsey Grammer.
That is a interesting group.
Yeah. So he was quickly able to kind of get his feet wet in the acting world. In 1978, after he graduated, he actually went on tour for a theater play called Death Trap with an acting group that was formed by his teacher. And now, after he was done with this, he kind of figured he needed to make his way to California, where he could really get going in acting and try to find more opportunities with it. And then he eventually found his way into television in California. He landed a lot of like daytime soap opera roles, namely one called Another World. And he also performed a lot of other theater productions for like Hamlet and Midsummer Night's Dream.
Wow. Oh, yeah, but he's a classically trained actor.
Yep. Yeah. And you see that definitely in a lot of the way that he brings out his characters. And then from 1980 to 85, he acted in a lot of different contemporary and classic theater pieces, including Broadway productions of an adaptation of Lolita and Eastern Standard. And, as a gay man in the 80s, he really felt like it was his obligation to kind of really portray this character in the right way. Especially as a character who was like secretly living with AIDS and on the East Coast. So he kind of really felt like it was his duty to get into this role. So after his stint there in 87, he ended up going back to TV. He had a lot of different roles in TV movies, soap dramas, and TV shows. And now, 91 is when he got his big shot. And here's a fun fact. He didn't even know the character of Batman or Bruce Wayne. He didn't know anything. He wasn't like a fan of it. He's never really read the comic books, and he really just kind of went into the audition on a whim and suggestion from his friend.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, after going through that audition, the rest is history. He's he really, as we've said in the beginning, he brought this character to life.
He did.
In a way that I don't even think a lot of the live action adaptations, as we said, was able to do. And it's so interesting because this is just voice coming out, and just that voice, how it's able to speak to you in so many ways. It's I think it's really crazy. So kind of like we mentioned, he was the first to iconically portray that change in voice when it came to Batman and Bruce Wayne. Keaton kind of did this with his movie, but he was definitely a little bit, it was weirder, a little. I mean, I'm not saying that Keaton was doing it on purpose comedically, but it was in a funny way, kind of.
Yeah, I agree.
So for Conroy to come out and do it in his own way, but successfully do it, changes that character forever. Now, he latched onto this character a lot more after kind of learning about this guy's dual personality. Because when he was first brought this character and people were telling him about him, his first thought was like, oh, this guy's kind of got schizophrenia. He's kind of just like a rich playboy weirdo. But then digging deeper into it, he kind of he related to the character a lot more. Like I mentioned, he was an actor who had to kind of hide his sexuality for being gay, and back in the day that was a big no-no and kind of like looked down upon in the industry. So for him, he kind of felt like he had that dual personality is kind of what played into him being able to play this character.
That's so interesting. But that's what a good actor is, or actress, bringing real life into a role.
Right. And he said that his inspiration was drawn from an old 1930s film called The Scarlet Pimpernel. And it was about sorry, excuse me.
It's all good.
It was a movie about an English aristocrat who leads a double life.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And so with his role as the Batman, he says he was really able to evolve both as a person and a performer. He was really able to bring out his many years of pent-up emotion from his troubled childhood. He grew up gay in a religious family. His father was an alcoholic. His father he crashed his own car and tried to stab himself after a divorce.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and Conroy has really said that his family kind of disintegrated after he was in high school. So you see a lot of that kind of the emotions being brought out in a lot of his performances.
The darkness, the brokenness.
And his tenure as the Batman is, second to none. He has
absolutely agree.
Longest performing Batman and Bruce Wayne. Like you said, for over pretty much 30 years now. And not just within the animated world, but in so many different adaptations of him too, like video games, so many film movies.
Yeah, and whenever there's a action or a game, Batman, if Kevin Conroy is not voicing it, people notice what's up with that.
Yeah, honestly, I that's the first thing I always notice whenever I see an animated movie, like all the DC animated movies that come out. If I don't hear his voice, I'm like, that's not Batman.
That's not Batman. Who's this guy? Yeah.
It's like, who's this phony?
And if that animated film is not good, I'm like, it's because they didn't hire Kevin Conroy. But it's not. There's a lot of things.
Of course, he was also a man of the people. Kevin Conroy has a big heart. And following the events of 9/11, he really he tried to do as much as he could, and he wanted to help out in the relief efforts as much as he could. He ended up volunteering in soup kitchens where they're providing food for firefighters. who were
Wow.
who were first responders to the scene. And while he was there, a fellow kitchen volunteer asked him to do a voice of the voice of Batman for all the firefighters, and
That's so cool.
that kind of it's such a small thing,
Oh
but that thing like it like revamped a lot of the people there,
yeah. Hmm.
in such a time of tragedy.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I just I think that's incredible to be able to do that, to have such a large impact with such a
Oh yeah.
small way.
And he's not. He doesn't hate that he's Batman. A lot of actors and people when they do a role like Harrison Ford, people see him as Han Solo, and he hates that. But everywhere he goes, people ask him questions about it, and he's widely known as hating that role. But like Kevin Conroy, no, he loved being Batman, and he loved it.
Yeah, he was a man for the people, the fans,
Oh
and
yeah.
he really like grew into that role, and like
Oh
he
yeah. I
made
mean,
it his own.
yeah, I don't blame Harrison Ford. Like I would hate to be a Star Wars fan. Like that would be the worst. But like,
No,
yeah.
I will say like Star Wars fans, they might be the worst fans out there, right? Like
I honestly agree. I think they're the most annoying. But going back to Batman and
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy, that's a whole conversation.
And so one of the last notes I have here for him is, as mentioned, he first came out as gay
Hmm.
in 2016. So this was even much later down the road in his career. Um, I didn't even really know that he was gay until I was doing research for this.
Same here.
Yeah, and he revealed himself as gay while promoting the movie The Killing Joke. And he also happened to write a 9-page comic story called Finding Batman. Kind of um, like a little self essay about how he grew into the role of Batman and how much he related to that role. It kind of digs into the emotional connection he has with the character, and really recounts the difficulty and discrimination he faced as a gay man in the industry.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
Yeah. And, I can't say this enough, just like the significance he has on this role. Again,
See, he's the Batman we grew up with. That's the voice we
exactly.
know.
Exactly.
I think like if you blindfolded us, you played on the TV, we will know right away. Like, oh, that's Kevin Conroy, right?
Yeah.
That's
No,
Batman.
it's hard to miss. And like, as we said in the beginning, it's just, he is the Batman for us.
He
Like, I
is.
don't care what anybody says. Christian Bale, great. I love him. I love the movies, but
Oh,
Christian Bale, George Clooney, Ben
Val
Affleck,
Kilmer.
Val Kilmer, whoever else, I'm always gonna say Conroy's my Batman.
Amen. I completely agree, brother.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever told you this, but Cameo, the website where you hire actors to say some stuff for you.
Oh yeah, actually, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah.
You got the birthday.
Yeah, so my friends, right before our audience members may not know, I had twin boys a couple of years ago, like 2 years ago almost, and yeah, my friends surprised. They came over for like the baby shower and stuff, and my friends that I grew up in high school with, they surprised me with a cameo interview by Kevin Conroy. And usually those are like a minute long or like 30 seconds, saying, "Hey, congratulations, da da da." But Kevin Conroy just spoke for like 4 minutes about his role as Batman, how significant that is, and like, I just watched it right before we started recording, and I was just tearing up hearing
Oh
him
my
like,
gosh.
the reason why he was explaining, like the reason why Batman is so loved is because he's not like a superhero with powers, but he's just a regular person who gets back up and doesn't give up and makes a better world than it was the day before. And like, oh, he said he in the video he says like, oh, you are the Batman to your kids, and I just died, and just
Oh my
like, and
gosh.
he does some great Batman quotes like, I am vengeance, I am night. I gotta show it to you, maybe one day. It's really amazing,
I
and I'm
mean,
like, oh, it's so good.
yeah, just even you telling me that, man, I feel so like, that's amazing. Like,
Yeah, I have the video downloaded on my phone. I watch it maybe like once a month just to encourage me. It's so good. It's like, it's honest. It's like, and I love it. It's
Yeah, and I mean, like speaking of what you say, I see a lot of those, and like a lot of celebrities just do like the simple one phrase like "Happy birthday," "Congratulations," like 30 seconds tops, maybe a minute tops. But you're telling me Kevin Conroy sat there and really like give you this inspirational moment. This man he's something else. He's not like other celebrities, never has been, and kind of like what we were going through with his points and backgrounds. He really cares. He really cares about the people out there, the fans out there, and it's just so unfortunate to see that he's no longer here with us.
Yeah, the world has definitely gone a little bit darker with him gone.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, David. Is there a certain episode or movie or something with Kevin Conroy portraying as Batman that's like your favorite? Because I have one in mind.
Ooh. I gotta say, probably a lot of the Batman Arkham series, the video games. I really enjoyed that. Being able to play and hear his voice in that way. But if I had to pick like one movie
or TV show
episode, I gotta go with one of the first ones I got to see, Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh yeah, so good.
Yep.
For me, it's episode in Justice League Unlimited, where basically a villain sorceress turns Wonder Woman into a pig, and Batman is like, it's a race to the clock. He needs to save her, and he's fighting with her, and Zatanna is helping him, and it gets to a point where like Batman's like, okay, what do you want? Like they're running out of time. It's like, and then the bad guy's like, I want something that's very private, something that you've been hiding for so long. And the audience member's like, oh shoot, like is Batman gonna reveal his identity? But literally the next scene, you see Batman up on stage. I don't know if you've seen this, and he's just singing.
Oh, I do remember that one. Now that you mentioned, yep.
And he's singing "Am I Blue?" And like you see here, like Kevin Conroy being like, okay, he's an actor. He at the point where he could sing. It's like, it's so funny. And I just love it. It's like it makes a thing like in any situation, Batman's prepared for anything. But for some reason, I love that. That's something that I really liked in his role, his relationship with Wonder Woman. You kind of see it with Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But I really wish they brought that up more.
Yeah, I wish they brought that up more and like touched up on that a little bit more. But we all know how the DC universe is going right now.
Oh, but let's not even talk about that. I just read something. I'm like, what, they're canceling Wonder Woman 3. I'm like, isn't that the only thing that's good that you have? But like, whatever.
Oh man, unfortunate.
But yeah, I mean, we could talk about days. Like I love like his series, like him and Mark Hamill, like that back to back. It's so amazing. Like I went to Comic-Con probably like 5 years ago, and I went to a panel with Mark Hamill, and it was amazing. It was booked, like packed to the brim. He talked a little about Star Wars, but a good chunk of it he was talking about his role as Joker, and how usually when you film an animated film, they got you in separate rooms, and you hear other people's recording. But when they filmed Batman, they decided to do something different where like they filmed it all together in the same room, and you don't really do that.
Nice, yeah.
But there's a lot of like audio issues and stuff like that.
Right.
But they were able to bring out a performance out of each other that just really made it how good it is. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
And that's so awesome. Like Batman and the Joker, in the comics, they go hand in hand. I think they each make each other better as characters. And I think Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy were able to do that with each other as well, just as voice actors. And it's crazy. I mean, Mark Hamill, if it wasn't for Heath Ledger, Mark Hamill would be my choice as a Joker all the time, hands down. But
I agree. I mean, those are two very different Jokers.
Very different Jokers. And it's just crazy to think the guy who played Luke Skywalker is the Joker.
And he's one of the greatest. He does other villains too. Doesn't he do Firelord
Firelord Ozai.
Ozai from the Avatar. Yep. But like going back to Kevin Conroy, like such a good actor. Man, I was kind of bummed out.
Yeah, definitely one of the sadder news of the year. I think there were several other actors out there who passed, but
Yeah, Tommy from the Green Ranger from the Power Rangers.
oof,
That really bummed me out
that
too.
was
And
yeah.
do we know how Kevin Conroy passed?
I think it was health complications. Let me
That's a shame.
confirm that.
66 is still really young.
Yeah, he had colorectal cancer.
Oh man.
And he just never publicly disclosed it. You know, this was one of the ones that kind of just came out of nowhere, left field for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember he voiced the Batman Beyond series too, right? As old Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
He was great in that also.
You know, it's kind of like in any adaptation of Batman, you just want to throw him in there. And he was,
Yeah.
Hmm? I was-
Arguably, if Kevin Conroy didn't voice old Batman, old Bruce Wayne, I don't think Batman Beyond would have been as good.
no, I don't
yeah.
think so. I mean, like Batman Beyond was awesome because of him. I feel like.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And you know, he's actually one of the first people to be able to portray Batman in animated series, video game,
Oh yeah,
and live action.
he did. He did. What was that for? It was for
It
a
was
TV
for
show, right?
yeah, like the CW series. I think it was in Batwoman.
Interesting.
He was able to, and the best part is he was able to play like an evil Batman almost, like an evil
that's pretty
Bruce Wayne.
cool.
Yeah,
He looked. I saw a still of it, because I'm not gonna watch any CW shows. But like, I saw a still. He looked so goofy, but he had like some kind of exoskeleton or something.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool accolade.
Mm. Oh man.
Man, is there a Batman? You know, it'd be really cool. I mean, like, I would have loved to see like a new TV show of Batman with him in it again. That'd have been really cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
A
what
reboot.
a reboot. I think they were planning on like revamping the animated series, but I don't know if without Conroy, like how do you?
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I
like how do
wouldn't.
you do that?
I mean, they constantly do it. There's always a new Batman series out there.
Yeah, but I don't
And
think
that
he'd
art
ever,
style, no.
that way.
It's
I mean,
like,
like I remember when like Batman: The Brave and the Bold or like The Batman came out, where it was kind of the animation was more like Jackie Chan Adventures almost,
oh yeah,
kind of like more the
Mhm.
kind of more Asian to be honest.
Yeah, more
Um,
2D.
Yeah, and not hearing Conroy's voice in those series, I was just like, something's off.
Something's missing. And no,
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah. What if there were to do a new one? Like, what would you want to see? Like, if Conroy was still around and if he was able to do it.
I would love to see him do. There's a Batman series writing about Scott Snyder,
Mhm.
like 5 years ago. I don't know. Time means nothing to me anymore. Not the long. What is it called? The Court of Owls.
Oh yeah.
It's a great arc of like, there's this evil Illuminati kind of cult in Gotham City that's been there for years, that's been orchestrating everything,
Mhm.
and it really tackles like the core of Batman. And if they made it's like, I don't think they could do live action with that, honestly, but like an animated movie of that, animated TV show series, that'd been really good. I would love to see that.
That would have been fun. I think they could have done it in a very like the Mask of the Phantasm kind of way. I think
Oh,
Court
yeah.
of Owls. I think we've talked about it a lot, but like there's so much depth and history in that series or that storyline, that story arc. I think Conroy would have been able to like bring it out in a way that nobody else would have.
I completely agree.
I mean, so this was not really going to be a long one for us. It's just
No.
definitely we just wanted to touch base and kind of give our respects to our one and only Batman.
Yeah, a great man and a great actor. He will and always be our Batman.
Yes.
So, David, where can our wonderful audience find us?
Well, you guys can always check our descriptions. You guys could look for us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just look for Repitch Podcast. And if you guys got any notes for us, you guys like us, you guys don't like us, share us, rate us, berate us. You guys could shoot us an email at repitchpodcast@gmail.com. And as always, just a big shout out to our friend, Mr. Joe Yoo. Mr. Panamix, for helping us with the sound editing. If you guys want his info, it's in the description also. Look for him on SoundCloud.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, Dave, I love our intro. There's some days I just jam to it and just go back. I don't dare I say it's one of my favorite parts of our episodes, the introduction.
You have the intro and outros. Thanks to him.
It's great. And yeah, tune in to our new episode in a couple of days. We're gonna talk about. I'm giving away Thor: Love and Thunder, and we're gonna pitch we're not gonna pitch that movie, but pitch a Thor 4. What would it look like for possibly Chris Hemsworth's last Thor movie? And you guys really want to tune in for that episode. I have a not crazy, but it is crazy idea.
I'm excited.
All right, I have a quote for us from Kevin Conroy himself.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is handed adversity in life. No one's journey is easy. It's how they handle it that makes people unique.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy.
Yeah. We'll see you guys later.
See you.